Welcome to the Heartwork Podcast, where we delve into stories, struggles, and triumphs of entrepreneurship, leadership, and personal growth. I'm Dr. Sarah.
And I'm Dr. Marisa. We're here to guide practitioners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and those just navigating the complexities of life on a journey of discovery that explores the dance between passion and strategy, heart and hustle.
With candid conversations, insightful interviews, and plenty of laughs, get ready to uncover how leading with heart can transform your business and life. Let's dive in. All right, y'all, we are so excited. Today, we are going to talk about something called radical ownership. And one of the things that we have had a ton of people ask us is, how do you become a better leader? And today's topic is going to be all about that, is really becoming a better leader. But it's first and foremost starts with you taking radical ownership of your life and your heart, along with inviting your team and the people that are around you to do the same. And so I want to just invite you guys just through a process a little bit, because this was something that I have been coached on by my local business coach, and my team has also been done. And we were at actually our workshop weekend that we held. Everybody got the opportunity to go through this too. So we're going to give you a little teaser of it. Also just a beautiful plug, because we are going to be hosting another in-person event in the spring. And so this is going to be just your invitation to put it on your calendar. We are literally, I'll just say the dates, March 12th and 13th. That is going to be the weekend that we host that. And so just a fun opportunity for us to be able to bring everybody together. We know that this is something that we truly adore, and then we're also really freaking good at. And also that it was something that everybody was like, can we do more of this every single month? And it was so needed. So when you think about just radical ownership for your life, I almost want you guys to think about the sentence of I am and I create, and think it through like 3 different things that you are, and that you then from that space of I am, and then I create X, Y, and Z. So those 3 different things. So the opportunity for that is just this understanding of like what it is that you want to create and who that you believe that you are. And then the next question would be, okay, when you have those from I am, so therefore I create this in my world, in my life, what are the 3 things that basically keep you from doing those things? These places that come in and interfere with that. So I'm going to give you just an example of mine that we had done through. So I am, and I create abundance. I am, and I create freedom. I am, and I create life and joy because of just who I am. I am a daughter. I'm a beloved first and foremost. And so then in turn, I create abundance, I create freedom, and I create life and joy. So those are my like 3. However, so at the time when I really did this, I'm just going to give you one of the things that I did, but I said I wanted to give you guys all of my things because I want you to be able to have your own uniqueness in this. But one of the things that kept me from being a beloved daughter and I create is this idea that I don't have enough right now, so I'm not abundant. That was like this mantra that I had in my head and in my brain and in my heart, especially at the time when I did this. I don't have enough money right now, so in turn, I am not abundant. It was this lie that basically was being created in my world that then lent me to then say, okay, well, I need to do all the things right now because I don't have enough. I need to make sure that I have enough. And I'm not living in this like place of quote unquote lack that I was creating as energy and creating in my mind at the same time. And all of this, so one of the things we were coached on, it kind of comes back to this reality of there are 4 things that your brain and your heart are really looking to find. And they're looking to find this place of feeling good, being right, being in control, and looking good. So we do all these things. So for me, like I don't have enough right now, so I'm not abundant, allowed me to then like, especially if I was creating that truth for my life, I was creating a storyline that I need then to hustle, I need to perform, I need to create results for the turn to be successful, to then say that I have enough. And so in turn, it allowed me to then feel real good and look real good. Those are my like big performer results type of individual. And the opportunity of what radical ownership means in that just the space of this. For one is like being aware of what those are. That's like the coolest part about radical ownership is like the first step is literally awareness and ownership. Truly. It literally is the first opportunity to know like, okay, something is coming up. I have a cycle. I have something why I'm attributing to something and it's making, and then it comes back. You can literally put it down to those four: feel good, be right, be in control, look good. Literally comes back to those four. So opportunity is to notice where you are. And again, I desire to be in control to look good, like at the end of the day, right? Like that's how it came back for me. And then radical ownership then comes to say, I choose to, so then in turn, I will. The world basically says that I cannot. And so in turn, I should. Should is meant literally laced with so much guilt, so much shame. It's wild. So opportunity of radical ownership says, no, I am. So then in turn, I choose to create X, Y, and Z. So in turn, I will then allow this to happen. You're owning your life. You're allowing that awareness to come in and then also say, no, this doesn't have to be the world and the existence that I'm coming into. And so 2 questions, and then we'll just kind of bounce. But this was the opportunity that we were then given. Okay, how might I continue to add to the resistance and add to the things that I basically are keeping me from the I am and I create? And then how can you contribute to this in a beautiful way in the opposite side of it? So how are you contributing to it as into the resistance, and how can you then contribute to it oppositely in the most beautiful way? And just the beautiful opportunity, not only for yourself. So like, how do you become a better leader? This is like one of the first places, right? It's like all of our stuff that we talk about is the heart work. It's like truly going to that to you as a leader. And then you provide the same opportunity for your team. You provide the same opportunity for them to really see where they are getting in their own way to be able to show up as their most magnetic, most abundant, most beautiful potential of a self that comes into your space at the same time. But you can't empower other people if you are not aware of your own stuff at the same time. So I know that doesn't necessarily give you a practical aspect for how to become a better leader to like empower your team, but it first and foremost starts with you for having radical ownership for yourself.
I think with that, it comes again there it's perspective changes, right? It's seeing what we may feel in limitation or lack and acknowledging that there's actually opportunity and abundance through that. Like any kind of lack or limitation we may feel, think, experience, even if logically we know that it's not true or we know that we don't want to embody it in the way that we're feeling it emotionally, we're still tied to it. And so
Mhm.
it's very much okay, yes, there has to be conscious awareness, but then can we choose conscious action or can we try and shift what that is? And the first part of that really is understanding where it's coming from. So that's where those like four kind of pillars come
Mhm.
from of feeling good, looking good, being right, etc. Um but it takes diving into that stuff to then say, "Okay, yes, I see this." Maybe it's like, um, maybe it's something around your physical form, weight or strength or exercise, athleticism, etcetera, and you look at where you're currently at as a limitation. Like, I'm never gonna be XYZ. I'm never gonna be strong enough. I'm never gonna be fast enough. I'm never gonna have a six pack, blah, blah, blah. But what's the opportunity there? Well, the opportunity is to find something that makes your body feel good when you move, because then you're going to be more motivated to do it. And then you're probably going to feel better while you're doing it. You're probably going to get better results from it because it's like coming from a true organic space of you just loving and enjoying what you're doing versus needing to do it for a certain outcome. Maybe it's something like I have too much control. Like I just can't let it go. Like if I don't do it, it's never going to get done properly. It's never going to get done right. Okay, the limitation is that like you feel like you always have to do it. Nobody else does it good enough. Well, what's the opportunity with that? The opportunity is like, can you give one thing and really see if it all goes up in flames? The
Mhm.
opportunity is, how do I loosen control so that it doesn't create a period of anxiety and need in me to have my hand in everything and it still have a great outcome, if not potentially a better outcome. If you're
Right.
feeling lack in abundance, if you're feeling, let's just take money, if you're feeling lack in finances, what's the opportunity there? The opportunity there is to create a new budget. The opportunity there is to create an evaluation of what you actually do have and what do you need versus what do you want. And it's okay to say,
Right.
I want a lot of money. It's okay to say, I want a big, beautiful, monetarily rich and full life. Okay, so the opportunity is, where do you want to go? What do you want to continue to embody and do to get there? That's your opportunity then. If you feel a lack, what's your opportunity for more? It's the also intention of what you do behind those things though, right? Like if you're like, "Hey,
Mhm.
I want $1,000,000," and you're willing to sacrifice and give up and toss everything and anything aside to get there, only because it means so much that you have 1 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 in your bank account, you're probably never going to get there because the intention and the energy behind it isn't really like, is it truly that you want $1,000,000 and that be the number in the bank? Or is it what you want to be able to do with that $1,000,000? Or is it just the thing of, I want to look, I feel like I'll look good or feel better if I have that because of what it means for me comparatively to others, right? So there's so much opportunity to identify that stuff and take radical ownership, not only of it, but of where it comes from. And then also take radical ownership if you want to see it change. You, in order to get a different result, you got to do something different. And most of the
Totally.
time that comes to going deeper into the heart work because that's where you really get into the root of what's going on so that the change that happens is authentic and organic and therefore it actually lasts. Therefore it actually
Mm.
sticks. And you start to create and stack more evidence on why you are and why you create compared to the limitation. And it always, it's such a heart set, it's such a mindset game, and it's truly perspective. Because on every experience, you have a perspective of lack, of victimhood, of how this happened to me. And in every experience, there's the opportunity to see why it happened for me and the abundance and the opportunity that comes as a result of it. But you have the capacity to take ownership of what it is that you feel, what it is that you experience, even though you may know that logically you shouldn't, and then you shame yourself for it. You can own it and understand it because ownership then is the first step to being able to create a different experience and a different reality.
Amen. I love this freaking conversation so much because I feel like this is literally the pivotal like perspective for major major change when it comes to leadership, your own like inner heart work, and then the opportunity which you're giving the people that you're around. And I was just thinking about that what you were talking about into how I like how you start to invite your people into this at the same time. And um you can't you can't lead people through what you have not gone through yourself, right? So, like, you can't invite people into going into their own heart journey unless you have done some of the work yourself. Um, and vice versa. I mean, they could lead you at this, like, but obviously you're a boss, right? So, like, so the practical aspect, if I'm thinking about like some of the things that I've done in my team, like vulnerability has been an opportunity that I have literally started to invite into not only how I lead, but also how I invite individuals in my team at the same time. Vulnerability does not mean that you are necessarily going to just come bleed over them and tell them your whole like weekend woes, like, how you got in a fight with your husband and that you're just coming in and you're doing all that. That does not mean that any of that. This means opportunity to say like, hey, I'm discovering this about myself when it comes to I like to control all these things. I like to control how you guys show up. So in turn, I then do this X, Y, and Z. And I'm learning it, I'm acknowledging it, and I'm owning it. So not only am I changing, but now things are going to be changing in this practice because now I'm going to actually call you forward instead of just taking away your power. That itself is vulnerability.
Right.
You can also create opportunity where you're creating vision and mission and like opportunities within your meetings, within your huddles that are literally infused with heart intention or provide opportunity for them to come back with a reflective question. Like if we had that, like we'll do events like this, so they'll do coaching things and we will come back and we'll talk about it. We'll provide opportunity for them to actually like share what is they're discovering within their heart. Every single leader meeting that I do once a month, I'm asking them what are they discovering in their own personal life. Like it's just part of our like ecosystem now versus it be something that I've never done before. So like once you start leading, once you start leading yourself, you start leading them just by practical experience, because if you're doing it, you want them to start to really work and build a muscle around that at the same time. And then the beautiful part about it, and I know you and I have like danced in this so much, and I know you have really this year especially, is when you actually say you're going to let go of something, you actually have to do it, and you have to trust, and the opportunity comes. I guess I should say you don't have to. However, you get to, like that invitation is you don't have to, but then your team may really not stick around.
Oh, no, they
Or
won't.
they 100%. They won't stick
No, they
around.
won't.
And also they're not going to be happy, and you're going to be resentful because they're not doing the job that they actually brilliantly could do. So the invitation is that you get to, if you say that you're going to release control over something and you're going to delegate something out, you get to trust that they're going to also do it. Doesn't mean that you can't have a pulse on things. Doesn't mean that you can't have a feedback process or system in place so that you know that things are getting accomplished and done. But however, you do have to trust that people are going to actually do the work that you invite them into. And so that is leadership. When you think about like, how do I become a better leader? It starts with you by having radical ownership, and then it invites them to be able to start doing the same practically, and also vulnerability within their own heart and in their own life at the same time.
And I think that is such a key thing, especially when you're a service-based entrepreneur, because that also leaks into how you get to call your clients forward to their own commitment and their own journey. Because I mean, we work in chiropractic, and so we work with people on a physical like standpoint, at the end of the day. However, and there is such an emotional component to our physical form and health and healing that sometimes it's not the physicality that gets in the way. It really is the emotional, mental space of the individual. And if you are more in tune with that, if your team is more in tune with that, and you're leading them through it and they're leading themselves through it, then the opportunity is that they get to lead your clients through that too. And the value creation that brings to the table, is way, way, way different. And also like, God, it is so fulfilling. I know, at least for you and I in our business and in who the clients are that we take care of, that they have that aspect of hope and health and healing that transcends just the physical form, and creates, I don't know, I really feel that it's that piece that creates the lifelong clientele and relations that can be created, and the healing that is experienced in offices like ours. So do the work. Call your team into doing the work. Take radical ownership of it. If you hear team sharing that, and you've created that candor with them, you can invite them to strongly consider what the flip side of that experience is. If you hear the lack, can you invite them to say, what's on the flip side of that? What's on the other side of this experience? Because sometimes that's all it takes, is just that slight shift.
So thank you for joining us on another episode of the Heartwork Podcast. We hope today's conversation has inspired you to lead with heart in your business and life.
If you enjoyed this, subscribe so you never miss a release, rate our show, leave us a review, get on our VIP email list, and join our exclusive Facebook group, The Heartwork Life, to plug into our community and learn from us and other heart-led entrepreneurs on a weekly basis.
We look forward to chatting with you next time.
Bye!